This is Leafs Late Night, your night of post-game podcast with Roscoe, the Fanalist, and Southey.
Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs,
Go
go!
Leafs, go!
Go Leafs,
Go
go!
Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Yes!
Oh man, oh man, oh man. So, wow is all I have to say with that one is wow.
Just wow.
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 So, Leafs just destroyed the Stanley Cup favorite Colorado Avalanche 8-3. That was fun to watch, eh?
Whew, that was a treat. I know Mission 22 is at the game tonight, so I am so jealous. Yeah, Shadow. I know we're going on Tuesday, but wow, imagine watching that while at the Scotiabank Arena.
That's insane. So thank you, everybody, for your patience. We are back. We're back with an actual post-game show. First one in a while. Done work, so I can actually do this. It's great. And what a way to start it off with a massive, massive Leafs win. Once again, we are Leafs Late Night. I'm Roscoe. This is Steph, the Fanalist. And we got to start with a giveaway. We have a winner to announce. This is the first game of our 12 games of giveaways. I apologize for getting through this so quick, but we got a lot to cover. So, game one of the 12 games has arrived. So, roasted duck was the code word for anybody that sent it in. Thanks so much. We had lots of entries, and let's announce the winner. So, let me just Steph, who is it?
Drum roll, and it is at Derek Fuller 86, one of our followers on Twitter.
Hey,
congratulations. You are our first winner of our holiday giveaway. Thank you so much, everyone, for entering, and please know that there's 11 more opportunities to come, so there's plenty of prizes, plenty of chances, and we're not done yet, so stay tuned.
That is right. So congrats to at Derek Fuller 86. You have won yourself a Morgan Riley Funko Pop figure. And every winner will also receive a sticker with their prize. And those are stickers by Victoria at Optimus Rhyme. Check her Etsy store out for tons of awesome Leaf stickers and some One Direction ones, if that's your thing. That's at Tulin Designs. That's Tulin, like the Manitoulin Island. So thank you, Victoria. And congrats to Derek Fuller. So remember, if you want to win next episode, that is going to be Saturday after the game. All you have to do is send us the code from this episode, which we will reveal later on, and send it to us on Twitter or Instagram, and retweet our contest tweet, which is still pinned to the top of our page there. And that's it. And just like Derek Fuller, you could win some fun Leaf stuff. We've got more Funko Pops to win. We've got a plush Carlton the Bear. We've got a plush JT. We've got shot glasses. We've got mini sticks. More stickers, tons of good stuff. And an Austin Matthews jersey.
Hats.
And t-shirts and hats. We got so much. So every prize is also going to come with a sticker, if I didn't say that. On to the game. Coming into this, we had articles saying the Avs are still the Stanley Cup favorite, even though they're in 6th place in their division. We got McKinnon back for the first time in a while. Kadri is playing, amazingly. And continued that tonight, unfortunately. Kemper, really weird game time decision. He has an upper body injury, and it had nothing to do with his skates this time. So, again, issues with having Kemper in the starting lineup for the Avs. What were your expectations coming into this game?
You know, I wasn't sure because everyone hypes the Avs all the time, right? They're, like you said, the Stanley Cup favorites in the West Coast. There's high expectations, and the last game they played Nashville, they beat them 6-0, and Rattle had a hat trick that game, and everyone was so excited about McKinnon because he has been on IR since November 6th, and the Avs went 7-1 without him.
Oy.
So you knew that they do well without their superstar.
No
and
kidding.
Yeah, and there's still no Kashe. Clifford was scratched. Lilgren was out. We had Dermott in the lineup, and we also had Joey Anderson. So,
Joey.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I said this a lot on Twitter during the game, but for all those games that Semyonov was playing that I didn't notice him, I think I noticed Joey Anderson every shift he was on the ice tonight. Like, what
I
a difference this guy made.
Yeah, I totally agree. His physical presence was there. He drew a penalty. He played his role on that fourth line, and I think he made a great impression.
Yeah, now was he on the fourth, or was it, what were the bottom
The
two lines?
third,
Because I thought it was, or did they
I was
switch them up? Because it was like Richie, Spezza, and Simmons were the fourth line for that goal in the first period.
Yeah, you know what? I had to change my notes for a sec because I didn't see the projected lineup before the game, but you're absolutely right. It was Ingval, Camp, Anderson, and then Simmons,
Ah, okay.
Spezza, Ritchie. So that's where I got a little mixed up because the last couple of games we saw Simmons on the third line, in and out. So
Yeah.
yeah, a little
But
bit of a
hey,
mix up.
Richie, Spezza, and Simmons have played really well together, so I like to see that line,
Yes.
playing again. And hey, they got a goal tonight in the first period. So, starting off first period, Willie just keeps
Ooh.
scoring. And I saw there was an argument on Twitter about him making it into Team Sweden. Come on, this guy is a lock for sure. Like, there's no way. This is like, he's a lock for the first line at this point. Come on.
Yes, awesome to see that wrist shot go past the goalie right off the bat. And speaking of goaltenders, did you notice that there was a rookie on the ice named Alexander who was summoned for the Avs from UFT? So this is the second goalie we've seen this year from UFT, and he warmed up the pregame warm up, but then he ended not didn't end up dressing to stay on the bench or stay on the bench in general. So,
And then another
so
goalie showed up in the second period. They had like one of the Eagles, Colorado Eagles goalies or something.
yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah,
know.
and
They had such a weird goaltending situation tonight, but I don't think even with Kemper in the net, he could have stopped the onslaught that was the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight.
oh yeah, feel bad for the guy a little. It's only his fifth start of this year, and he had a goals against average 2.92% or against average, sorry, and then 911 save percentage. You thought he's pretty sturdy, especially his only 2 1-1, but I don't know. The Avs could not figure out the Leafs. They tried mixing up the lineups. They tried handling JT's line, but no, it seems like beyond that top two lines, the I didn't really notice much of the Avs. I don't know, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, Landeskog was pretty. He was working hard. I noticed him a lot as far as they were going. I mean, and Nas was unreal with two goals
Mm-hmm.
on the night. McKinnon with 2 assists on them. So, and I mean, Gerard and Byram were both good. Sam Gerard almost had his second goal too on the night.
I saw
But
that.
alas, big defensive blunder as Matthews is left alone in front of the net. I mean, we already mentioned the fourth line got their goal in the
Yeah.
most fourth line way possible. Richie with a hit leading to Simmons over to Spezza with the rebound. So, yeah, so Matthews gets left alone in front of the net and just absolutely undresses Johansson. Like, that was,
Yeah.
oh, fakes the
Wow.
backhand, throws it back over to the forehand, throws it top shelf. Like, mm,
Ex-
mm.
yeah, for this pregame scout, you would think that the Avs would say to each other, okay, we cannot leave one of the league's best scorers out in front in the open. But what do? Nope. Matthews has so much time. He plays with it a little and then roofs it on Johansson. No stash, no problem. Bam, thank you, ma'am. Assisted from Marner. Bunting, guess what? It's his only 50th NHL game. So he had another assist to add on the night. And Matthews scores 4 games in a row and gets his 10th in 15 games. Wow.
And Bunting is now second in rookie scoring. Like, attaboy. Like, what a steal we got there. I mean,
Yeah.
not to be discredited, Zach Hyman did just score like 3 minutes ago before we started recording. But hey, we got some people to fill in the gaps. So with 1.2 seconds left, well, it was 0.3, but then they recalled it to 1.2. Sam Gerard with a just catches the Leafs slipping, ready for the horn to go for the end of the period, and sneaks a slap shot through everybody.
Yeah. That was on the
3-1.
Leafs and
Yeah.
the power play. Unfortunately, that first power play unit stayed out way too long. They didn't get the change that they wanted. And then when the Colorado Avalanche got possession, they just took that chance that they got and rushed up the ice. Big shot from Gerard, sneaks past Campbell. And yeah, literally less than a second left. So yeah, that was such a crazy first period. I had so many notes just from that first period alone because 9 players with points in the first, and then you have Simmons who matched his point total from last year already in game. What are we at? 24 now. So exciting, so happy for the Buds, and they went into the second period up 3-1, just the way we like it, and it got a little sloppy after that. Not gonna lie, it was
I
a
was
little.
gonna say, I mean, just the way we like it, but that goal at the end of the first really gave some life to the Avs. Like they came out like really
Yeah,
heated up in the second period. They were. This is the comeback time. This is how we mount this. There were a couple
yeah,
bad calls to start it. We had JT ending the power play, taking a slashing call that was not. It's questionable. A lot of people were complaining about it, but keep your stick down, especially when you're chasing somebody back on the power play like that.
yeah.
So that came to an end pretty quick. And just some sloppy play from the Leafs, but they held it together. And even though Nas gets one from his knees, Dermott responds immediately to make it 4-2. Travis Dermott.
Yeah, the first 12 minutes of that second period was, I know I said just the way we like it, but I just meant going in with the lead and
Yeah.
especially from the first period and
3 goals in the first is huge.
huge, right? So, but yeah, a little bit of a mix up. We didn't know who got that goal. Was it Nikushkin or Naz, or because it was on his stick and then the guy behind just shot it in. But yeah, after the 12-minute mark, I think, and the Dermott goal, the Leafs just pulled up their socks. JT comes around, scores his 11th of the year. He doesn't give up on the play, sinks in the rebound, assisted by no other than Kerfoot and Brody. So,
Yeah, I picked up Kerfoot on the night. He got 2 assists and +3. It was a good little grab for me.
nice.
I just needed somebody who was playing tonight that I can drop tomorrow, but I'll take it.
Yeah, speaking of Naz, though, we got to talk about him a little bit because he's in his contract year, his 13th season in the NHL, making $4.5 million a year, spent 10 years in Toronto, was traded with Callie Rosen and a third-round pick for Tyson Barrie, Kerfoot, and a sixth-rounder.
Wow.
Man, and to note, actually, this is just a fun fact. He turned down the request for a trade from the Flames and agreed to Colorado. So that was always fun. But back then, Leafs Nation was very upset about this Naz trade, right? And they love him. He's a hometown guy, but I think thinking back to it now, it was the right choice made by Dubas, especially when you have the likes of Matthews and Tavares taking those top 2 center positions and you bump down Naz to the third line because that's as far as he's going to go on the Leafs roster at that point. And
He wouldn't be this good on the third line.
Yeah. And Naz production kind of went down too in his last 2 years in Toronto. He scored 44 points in 73 games, and then the year before was 55 points in 80 games. So, the team needed more. And I guess at the time they saw the likes of Tyson Barrie and they were like, ooh, a fancy new defender, right? And
To be
Kerfoot
fair,
was.
at the time, Barry was a hot commodity and looked like what the Leafs could use, but if you read the fine print, it says power play 1 quarterback, and they already had one of those, and it also said requires defensive partner, and they didn't have one of those. So,
Yeah.
just a case of not reading the fine print with Tyson Berry.
Yeah, I actually saw the interview before the game where Sportsnet was saying what happened this year to make it what literally what popped you off pretty much, and instead of asking him straight up, they went to his father instead because I'm sure he's so used to answering the same questions over and over again, and his dad straight up just said he's matured. He's gained that maturity, and he's found his place in the league, and worked on his skills that he should have during the summers going into the season. So yeah, I'm glad that Naz has a home and that he's happy, and things worked out for both sides. Barry and Naz actually traded apartments when the trade was made, so they
That's
lived
funny.
in each other's houses. Fun fact. But that was a summer for Dubas too, where he had to clean up the slack from the old GM because he got rid of the large contracts from Marleau, Jake Gardner. He sent 4 players to Ottawa, which is Connor Brown, Ron Hainsey, Zaitsev, Tyler Innes. So
Oh yeah.
a lot changed that year for the Leafs, and that's why I guess Leafs Nation was so hateful at the time, because they were expecting production right away, but literally the whole half the lineup or more changed to start that season. So yeah, but now Naz, before the game, he's at 28 29 points,
Wow.
27 points. Whew.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So we move on to the third, and Matthews finishes off the hatty for the 4th time in his career. Unreal. Attaboy.
Yes.
Also, Pierre Engvall. Pierre Engvall scored.
Let's not forget about the Dermott goal, too, because we did not expect that. Johansson did not expect him to take the shot. We saw the William Nylander cross ice pass and straight on Dermott's stick. And, usually he's a little hesitant, but no, just the boys were full of confidence tonight, which I love to see. And it's like they didn't think twice about doing anything. And the success was there. They threw the pucks on net, and yeah, look at the results at the end of the game. The Leafs outshot the Avs. I think it was 17 versus 8 in the third. They didn't take the foot off the pedal, so
love that.
I love to see it.
I also got to give the Avs credit for not taking their foot off the pedal, because I mean they scored a 3rd goal in the 3rd period there, and to end the game off, they were still trying. They were fighting. Like I even noticed, like, they didn't give up, and that says something about them. Down 8-3, and they're still trying to get that to 8-4. Just to knock down Campbell's numbers a bit. That's a playoff team right there. They want to they want you to remember for the next game that it wasn't right down to the last minute. It wasn't easy. So I understand to a degree why they are a playoff favorite, but nonetheless, they just got slapped 8-3 by a team that hadn't scored more than 5 goals before last week.
Yeah, and everyone had the excuse all season long. Oh, it's because last season we played against Canadian teams, or oh, you faced the backup last game, or this and this and that. Like, so many things. And this game was another measuring sticks for the Leafs that we talked about previously before, but against Tampa, Boston. Like, who's next? Who wants to get slapped next at this point? Like, the Leafs are just reminding me of Vegas's opening season in the NHL, and where they literally just slapped every single team that came their way.
Just tearing through. And we got the Wild, the Jets, and the Blue Jackets next. So the Wild and the Jets, that'll be interesting. Those are pretty powerhouse teams in the West. So we'll see how the Leafs do against them. But man, they've looked great against everybody. And I mean, asterisk to they looked great against all the Canadian teams. The rest of the Canadian teams don't look that great this year. So there was a bit of something to that, but they're still destroying everybody else nonetheless. And we love to see it.
Top of the league, 35 points now, 17 wins, 6 losses, 1 in OT. We're on top of Florida, Washington, Carolina. I know it's super close, but now we're 4 points ahead of Carolina. This is the pace to be in. The Leafs are clicking on all cylinders. Like tonight, we saw another Stanley Cup Muzzin moment with a stretch pass that went to Matthews for his 3rd goal. We saw the defense core just not give up. JT not give up on pucks, which led to another goal. The 3rd line, the 4th line all pulled through. It was just amazing. They deserved that win. Jack was amazing. Yeah, it's just no bad notes. It's a great time to be a Leafs fan, which I know it's always a good time to be a Leafs fan, but
I have one note.
now, okay.
The power play was not great. Somehow they scored. Weren't all 8 of these goals 5-on-5?
They were. Oh, and
Yeah.
one was 4-on-4.
One was 4-on-4. The power play was not good tonight, somehow, despite everything else. And I know it's hard to I seem like an idiot complaining about something when they just beat the Colorado Avalanche 8-3. But if there is going to be any note that I take away, the power play was still somehow not great, which is weird despite how they were playing.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that. But I have this positivity thing drilled in my mind. So I'm trying to just ride the wave. But I can nitpick every little thing. I can tell you exact moment that this person screwed up on the ice. But as a whole, we just got to take it and move forward. I think the power play had a couple good chances. I know the first power play only had one shot. I think the next power play had 3 shots, which you would think isn't very sufficient. But Toronto has great numbers on the PK too, with
Oh, the PK was unreal.
86.7%. And unfortunately, we let that last goal in. But yeah, it was literally a duel between 2 juggernaut teams, and Toronto massively came out on top.
Oh, yeah. And Jack was just fantastic.
Yes.
Some of the 1 or 2 of the goals were, but I blame Jake Muzzin for standing in front of him, as I always do.
Again.
He was. He was standing directly in front of him on the 3rd goal. I could not believe that, and on Gerard's. So I know I have Spotlight here, but we're gonna call it pretty good. So who was pretty good tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. pretty good.
So
this is hard.
Who was pretty good?
14 skaters on the score sheet tonight. 6 scored a goal. So this is a hard one because the first thing that comes to mind, though, besides Matthews, obviously he scored the hat trick. Yay, Pappy, no stash, no problem. Love to see it all day long, except, his dog Felix looked a little pissed in those pictures. But
I had no idea who his owner was.
Yeah, exactly. The first guy that comes to mind is Kerfoot for me. He was super speedy. He beat everyone on the race for the pucks, and I think he took a couple draws. I'm not too sure. I just want to point out too that the Leafs were 65.6% on the face-off dot tonight,
nice.
Which helped a lot. But other than Kerfoot and Willie, we know he has the skills. It's got to be Bunting. Bunting's stats when he's on that Matthews line, it's just amazing compared to when he's off that line. And I know he's on a line with elite skaters, but he, to me, is the perfect fixture right now because Nylander and JT are clicking. Marner and Matthews, they're clicking. Bunting is just the cherry on top. So, how about you?
Well, I like that you mentioned Kerfoot because I did notice there was one play where he pushed all the way down to the boards against 2 or 3 Avs to get the puck, beat out an icing, and then chased it all the way back down to the Leafs end when Landeskog was trying to break through and tied him up. So just amazing play on both ends in one shift. You got to applaud that. But because, come on, Austin Matthews with his 4th hat trick of his career, I got to go with Matthews, who just looked absolutely unreal with a close runner-up being Jack Campbell, who again looked fantastic. And as much as it was fun to hear the soup chants on the road trip, the place was buzzing tonight. It was amazing to hear.
Yes, of course. I have my Matthews jersey on right now. I support the guy 100%, and the only reason why I didn't say soup for the first time ever is just because I don't think he was as challenged enough as comparison to the other goalie and what the top 4 lines did towards him. So I don't know. It's one of those hard things. It's always a good thing though. 14 skaters with points on the score sheet. Wow. It's just a tough question.
Fun thing I noticed, Campbell made Binnington look like a bum because a stray puck came bouncing off the boards, and Campbell held the post like a professional NHL goaltender should, and stopped it. Unlike Jordan Binnington the other night, who took a stray one all the way from the blue line, almost past the blue line. It was like off of a face-off in the center. and just took a weird bounce off the boards and off of his inside foot and in because he was not holding the post like he should be.
Yeah. Nobody in the zone. Such an embarrassing
Unreal.
moment. I have him on one of my fantasy teams, unfortunately. And yeah, that was not a good moment for me either that night. I think both my goalies had 3 or 4 goals let in. I had Elvis and Binnington, so that was a bad night for me. But yeah, go Leafs, go, man! Like I'm on such this high right now, and nothing can stop us right now. And I know we're expecting a loss soon, just because you can't win every single game, but a win, 8-3 win against the Avs, whoo!
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for some reason, the Avs are still, before we were going into this game, like rated in the top. They were 6th place in their division, and now they are still. So what? Like, I don't get it. What is the thing with them? Like, what are we expecting to turn around? Is it that McKinnon's just going to explode? Like, I mean, I've seen a bit of the light from, like I said, Landeskog and Gerard and Byram look good, and what's his name? Whose name I can't pronounce. Nichushkin. Yeah, I swear.
I heard his name a lot.
Yeah, and they were just saying it to show off the fact that they could say it properly.
Yeah.
But like, what is it with this Avalanche team that we're supposed to be afraid of come playoff time? If they even make it there, because now they have to try to make it into even the wild card spot.
They have 23 points in 19 games. They're 20th in the league overall, and the Leafs are 35 in 24 games played, first place. So I wonder, and even Cale Makar, he had a few screw-ups tonight, I noticed, and couldn't beat,
his stick
for
exploded.
example, but couldn't beat Kerfoot on that puck, and just a couple giveaways. So when the Leafs are playing like this, teams cannot afford to make these mistakes, and it's so nice to be on this side of it for once, and it's great.
I'm looking, as far as the West Coast goes, they have a ton of goals for, but they are somehow only ahead of the Blackhawks, Coyotes, Kraken, Canucks, and LA Kings. Like, what?
Interesting. Yeah.
23 points. Only puts them there. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think the poor start really affected them, but it is a long season. There's 3/4 of the way to go, but they need to be on a winning pace at this moment. And I don't know if it's because of Kemper in net or the guys in front. I haven't really been watching them closely this season, but
yeah, I guess Kemper's had a few rough nights with the skates coming off, and they've had backups playing and such, but I don't know. I hope they turn it around just for McKinnon's sake. He needs a good year and a good playoff run.
Yeah, they're really missing Grubauer right now.
Yeah. So we're going to go to break here, but we have a little special break this time. So we have new music brought to you by Marty Zylstra of Leafs Nation. Thank you, Marty, for letting us share this with everybody and bring a new element of community to this show. So, as featured on Hockey Night in Canada, this is Rattle the Glass by Marty Zylstra.
Everyone is looking at me. Time is running and we're down by 3. Look inside yourself, what do you see? The pain is in your mind, no, nothing stops me. Everyone is looking at me. Heart is pounding and we're down by 3. Look inside yourself, I know what I see. Do you have the guts to do it for me? Gonna sweat, gonna work, we're gonna burn, it's gonna hurt, we're gonna fight, we're gonna score, we're gonna win, we're gonna war. Rattle the glass!
love that.
Yeah, so that is Rattle the Glass by Marty Zylstra. So it's kind of funny. He tweeted out a video requesting to Dave Grohl to open for them in Toronto. He's, I think, out of Vancouver. And he mentioned this song. So I was like, hey, I'll look it up. And I ended up listening to the whole album today. It's actually really good. So go out and check out
Nice.
the album Boom Chicka by Marty Zylstra. So if you would like your music featured like this, as either our outro or our intro music or something, shoot us a DM either on Twitter or an email at leaveslatenight@gmail.com. And let's have some fun with this. Jeff Merritt can't be the only one who does this. He can't trademark that.
Yeah.
So, with that, we should have a code word.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
How about you come up with one this time? I'll give you a drum roll.
I definitely came up with the last one. It was so popular among everyone. They loved it. But in the spirit of the Leafs winning against the Avs, let's make it Snowbank. Because the Leafs put the Avs in the snow. The code word is Snowbank.
Snowbank. You got it. So send us Snowbank on Twitter or on Instagram, and we'll send you something fun. We'll how about we do? How about next we do the Leafs mini stick and shot glasses? How about that? It's a nice some stocking stuffers. One for the kids and one for the adults. And as always, we will throw some stickers in there. So next prize is going to be the 2 shot glasses and the mini stick. All right. So we're going to play a little game that's totally not Jeopardy. But again, we're going to do some stuff inspired by network game shows because that's fun. So this is kind of like time. I'm going to call this time travel trivia. Time travel trivia.
Ooh.
So, what it means is we're going to do some trivia questions, but these things haven't happened yet. So they're like predictions and trivia all wrapped into one. And we'll revisit this at the end of the year to see which things came true and which ones didn't. I'll save all this. So, we've got like a classic Jeopardy board. We've got 200, 400, 800, 1,000, and then 12, 15, and 2,000. What do you want to go with first here, Steph?
I'll go with 800.
Okay, so 800. This player turned their season around after a slow start. Who was that?
First thing that comes to my mind, if we're thinking outside of the Leafs, is the Winnipeg Jets. Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, just off to a horrible start. Mark Scheifele is ranked 497 on Yahoo. He has 8 points in 22 games.
Jesus.
Blake Wheeler's been on the wire in a lot of leagues. He's ranked 362, surprisingly, 7 assists, no goals. Come on, these are the 2 top guys besides Kyle Connor on the team that's not a goaltender. So these guys have to, and they must turn it around. How about you?
So with that, we'll give it to Scheifele and Wheeler. I dropped Wheeler, like I said myself, on my fantasy team. They need something to turn around for them. For me, man, people that got to turn their season around, I would say, goalie wise, it's got to be either Darcy Kemper. And needs to, like we said, needs to hold on to the entire season for the Avs at this point. They need a winning streak basically from here on out to make their playoff push happen. Or it's got to be Elias Pettersson.
Yeah.
Vancouver. I think Elias Pettersson needs to be scoring at a much higher pace. He's got to match the Mitch Marner potential that he was talked up to and paid for, and pull Vancouver out of this hole. I mean, we know there's going to be some changes in the front office or maybe all the way up to the head office in Vancouver at some point this season or by the end of it. So
Yeah,
he's got to
I
be a part
agree.
of that, and he needs to be a leader in that change. So I think that starts with turning his shit around this season.
Well, with that being said, let's go to 1200 because I do have an answer linked to that question.
So 1200. This player was moved in a blockbuster deal, almost as big as the Eichel deal. So who do you think gets moved this year?
So, if Darcy Kemper doesn't keep it up, he's only signed a 1 year deal for 4.5 mil.
Ooh,
I think
interesting.
he's the next one to get moved. They went all in on this guy and they don't really have any help behind him. So that's a big name that comes to mind. But there's a lot of unrestricted free agents that's still roaming around the league, such as next year it's going to be Barkov, John Klingberg, Kadri, right? But
Yeah.
when you think of a blockbuster deal and the way that the Avs are having their season right now, Darcy Kemper comes to mind for me.
Well, for me, I think Lou Lamoriello might be up to something come trade deadline day, especially if his Islanders are
Mm.
still in last place. And I think he's going to be calling up somebody who's going to be scrambling to try to keep their job, Jim Benning, again to loop the Vancouver Canucks into this. So Benning is known for panicking at trade deadline day and just shooting himself in the foot and making stupid plays. And Lou in last place is dangerous Lou. So I don't know who it's going to be, but I think anyone from they might just be moving picks, but I think it's going to be somebody big going to the Islanders. Um, shit.
I know
I
it's
just
hard.
it's really hard. I didn't. I was planning on just asking these, so I didn't really prep answers for them. So I'm kind of on the spot here. But I'm gonna say anything involving Lou. So Islanders are making a blockbuster deal.
Fair. Okay. I believe it because they are just brutal right now. Have they even won a game in their new barn yet? Like,
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Let me check. But they no, they have not. They've lost to the Leafs, the Rangers, and the Penguins. So all rivals
Wow.
too. Like that sucks.
Wow. Damn.
Um, next up, let's go with what about 1,000 here? This player was
Okay.
brought in at the 22 deadline to help the Leafs run. Let's loop Lou into this again because if the Islanders are in a fire sale situation, um, who do you think? Is there anybody on the Islanders that could be brought in for the Leafs?
I'm not too sure of the contract situation with the Islanders, but you may see the likes of Beauvillier, or I can't see them moving their captain or Barzell or anything like that. But when I was thinking about this question in a dream world, I was thinking about Philip Forsberg. I know that's a hefty price tag because he is
Nashville
under
keeps coming
contract
up.
6 mil. Yeah, and he's a fantasy beast, like I said last episode. But for Islanders wise, I wouldn't even go there myself. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Anthony Bolivier is 4.1 mil for the next 3 years. I don't think there's any way that
Yeah,
fits.
no.
No, you're right.
But
I think something's gonna happen. I mean,
mhm.
we saw, unfortunately, the trades for Foligno and for Redditch and for Riley Nash and all these guys that didn't pan out. So I mean, it's unless Dubas is just kind of taking that L and taking a year off of that, he's gonna do
Mhm.
it again.
Yeah, I would really, really love to see a Leafs affiliate come up, like Josh Hosang, who has 13 points in
Right.
14 games. And if we're really struggling with a defensive core or someone gets injured, a couple guys gets injured, we can even try out Joseph Duzak, who has 14 assists in 13 games. So
Instead of
why
bringing in like
not?
Thomas Hurdle, like I keep hearing mentioned,
Yes, I
please.
heard that too. And no, these guys are going to want bank, especially from Toronto. So why don't we let the barn play a little and let
Yeah.
these boys prove something of themselves? Because you know Hosang wants to come up eventually. So there, that would be his time to shine for the Leafs.
All right. I'll give the next one to you. Pick one. We got 200,
Okay.
400, 1500, and 2000 left.
Okay, let's go 200.
200. All right. So this team, despite expectations, did not make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, speaking of New York Islanders, big cup favorite. They're last in the Metropolitan. They have 12 points in 17 games played. So that's one of the first ones to come to mind. And to just back up that state, or sorry, another option for me would be Montreal Canadiens because they went to the cup final, right? And they have such a high expectation, but now there's a bunch of excuses like, oh, Price is out. We're missing Shea Weber and another defender. But I don't know. This 14 points in 24 games played, second last in the Atlantic. I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are going to squeeze their way through unless they make one of those blockbuster trades near the trade deadline and get one of those high scoring wingers. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's easy to say the Canadians and the Islanders, but I'm gonna go with a little Hail Mary one here, and I'm gonna say the Bruins for the East don't make the
Wow.
playoffs, and the Dallas Stars in the West.
Okay. Yeah, the Bruins would. That would happen this year. This is the first time I stacked them in fantasy, so just
Yep.
my luck, that would happen. But wow, yeah, I don't know. I heard rumors actually of Hurdle going to the Montreal Canadiens, so that might be a thing. But
Okay.
we'll see. I
We'll
don't
see.
think he's gonna be
They
the
still don't have a
guy.
GM, so I mean, I guess Jeff Gordon is acting GM,
He's
but
doing everything.
yeah, he's acting front office of Montreal Canadiens. So 400, 1500, or 2000.
Let's go 400.
This
Why not?
team
Clear it up.
fired their head coach this season, not Chicago, because they already did it.
Without the obvious answer being Vancouver, because we're all waiting for that day to come, one of the teams that came to mind for me, I hate to say it, but Ottawa Senators DJ Smith, 9 points in 19
Yeah.
games played. How long do these Ottawa Senators put up with this before changes are made in management? And it hurts, right? I want to see DJ Smith excel, especially first time being the main coach on a team. But how
It's
long?
hard when you're rebuilding and there's all these young guys and you're dealing with COVID and with injuries and so much lineup shakeup, and you've lost Matt Murray. He's literally just not the goalie that he was brought in to be. Like he's not really been dealt an easy hand, and I think it's just
No.
time for a reset there. I don't think
Yeah.
it's something he can pull this team out of. Unfortunately, it's not really too much fault of his own because a lot of the players, these young guys between Batherson and Zub, have been playing very well despite their garbage losses. But
Yeah.
hey, I think we can both agree on that one. That unfortunately DJ Smith, if not, what's his name, Travis Green, or maybe Dom Ducharme. So
Yeah. And I only say DJ Smith if we were at a past the trade deadline point and the Ottawa Senators are still last place. Like they're kind of like the Arizona Coyotes of Canada, you know. There has to be some sort of winning feeling. Like they put the C on Brady this year. Things have to change. So unfortunately, if they don't start winning a couple that looks at least, you know, wild card manageable, but not last place, there's going to be lots of talk, just in my opinion.
yeah, and I mean Barry Trotz could be on his way out too. Honestly, I think it might be the end of his era of coaching. It's just some of these old guys. It's not working anymore. You know,
No.
Rick Bowness could be gone in Dallas too. It's way it goes. So that
Yeah,
just
the
leaves
game has changed.
It has. It has really. 1500 and 2000 left.
Okay. Let's go 1500.
Okay. So the Hart Trophy winner of 2021-22 season is Leon
Then,
Draisaitl.
oh, nice. Yeah, one of the obvious choices. Of course, you got to give the guy the heart. He has 40 points in 20 games, 20 goals, 20 assists. Like, damn,
In
this guy
19
is.
games, he had that, which is wild.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. When I was thinking about this question, the first thing that came to mind as a Leafs fan was Jack Campbell. Second star of the month for the NHL, 9-2-0,
Actually, not
putting a
bad pick.
959 save percentage, 3 shutouts. The last goaltender to do it was Carey Price in 2015, and there's only been 7 goalies in history who've won the Hart Trophy. And prior to that, it was Jose Theodore, like these big names, Jock Plant. Like, I think with his numbers, and if Toronto continues this hot spree, he is definitely in the running.
Yeah, the only argument I would make to that is usually if you're a goalie that's winning most valuable to your team, it's because the team around you is not great. And you're just like Carey Price has carried literally a garbage Montreal Canadiens team all the way to the Stanley Cup finals. Like there was next to nothing offensively in front of him. That is what I would call a Hart Trophy goalie, whereas the Leafs
Okay.
have some firepower in front of them. Though 99% of their penalty kill has relied on Jack Campbell being absolutely outstanding. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and that's why I argue Jack Campbell, because he's been nothing but positive for the Leafs in the locker room, outside of the arena. This guy
Yeah.
leaves an impact everything, everywhere he goes. Like, it's just nonstop, and he's always available to talk to media. Like, he's always the go-to guy and reliable, amazing at his position. And this is his first year being a starting goaltender, and look at the Leafs. So I think he has a good case. And even though the Leafs are stacked, they've been stacked previously, and the numbers were not the same. So,
Fair enough. I'll give you that. It's a pretty good argument in his favor. 2000 is the last one left, and that is in 2021-22, the Toronto Maple Leafs finally blank.
I think I went with the obvious choice here. I said win a round in the playoffs. It's happening. I was thinking about going to the cup final, but for those 2,000 points, I'm saying win a round in the playoffs because it's happening. So thank you for the 2,000 points. And yes, that's just the confidence I have with this team right now.
I did not even want to touch the playoff round discussion here. I went for the easy out, and I said in 2021-22, the Toronto Maple Leafs finally have multiple trophy winners at the end of the year. So I think it's going to
Ooh,
be Jack Adams for Sheldon Keefe. I think it is
okay.
going to be either a Hart, Conn Smythe, or Vesna for Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
And I think if the Hart doesn't go to Jack and he wins something else, then a Hart Trophy is going to go to either Marner or JT. So
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of them are in the running for all of these trophies for the first time in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
And
mean, I wouldn't say Riley's in the Norris voting, but I think his play has been outstanding this year, regardless.
Yeah, even the Avalanche feed tonight, I saw on Twitter that they immediately voted Jack Campbell for the Vezina Trophy, and they were talking about him all night long on that feed, and
Wild.
just all the compliments. I should have watched it, but finally, a home game, I decided to throw on the Sportsnet. But yeah, everyone's saying it, and it's so nice to finally hear people around the league have all these positive things to say about the Leafs, which are usually the team that people hate on. So it's great.
It's great to feel this way. And
It's so
remember,
good.
everybody, like Mission 22 says, stay positive. They're gonna lose one of these days coming up, and we're not gonna overreact because they just beat the Colorado Avalanche 8-3, and I think that
Mhm.
means. Let me just. Okay, now I don't want to screw this math up, so I actually have to look at it. Our goals for and goals against since the last 5 games, it was because we were at
Ooh.
16, because this is insane. I don't think the Leafs have done this in a long time. Oh my gosh, why is my thing doing that? Okay, so 8, 5 is 13, 17, 23, 26, goals 4, and 3, 4, 7 goals against. Since the Islanders game.
That's so good.
Are you joking?
Oh man.
This is the team that's second defensive in the NHL, which I can't believe.
Yeah, I was
As much as we
so
rip on the
emotional.
defense.
Yeah, this game had me literally wild, just bouncing off the walls, screaming at the TV in pure joy. And for once, not cussing my head off, but actually just clapping and loving it. And that's why I'm a little drained right now, because I'm like, wow, like that
Oh, me
took a
too.
lot out of me. But just wait until Tuesday when we're at the game. But
When Matthews
yeah,
got that one, the first goal in front of the net there, as I tweeted, I think you saw, I got the, hey, you scared the cat and me.
yeah.
I was like, but look at the goal, though. Okay, that
Too
was
bad
good.
he didn't get the fourth, but
Yeah,
so good. Says he feels 16 again.
yeah, he
Yeah,
looks
man.
16.
Love it. Even with the interview earlier, the clear podium, so he was just coming out in slides and his shorts, and everyone was making a huge deal out of it.
This is the best Ed's text. So, if you are watching us, or you know what we look like, my dad has similar facial hair to me, and he texted me during this game saying, "My lord, I'm shaving tomorrow."
Nice. I saw a tweet actually saying, imagine if Austin Matthews shaved his whole body. What would happen then?
Unreal.
Wow. But no, Leafs win. We're on top of the standings. Oh, what a night. We're going into day 2 of our holiday giveaway. So thanks everyone for tuning in and listening for that code word. And send it into us. Have some fun with us. Interact. And we love to chat. So
Yeah, we are very, very active on our Twitter and on our Instagram. It is me on Twitter and Steph on Instagram if you want to know who you are talking with. Next game up is going to be the Leafs in the Wild on Saturday. We'll be giving away our new prize, which was 2 shot glasses and the Leafs mini stick and ball. And remember, if you listen to us on anything that allows you to leave a rating or a review, like Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rating or a review. It is much appreciated. It helps move us around in the charts and get noticed by other fans and get us ads maybe so we can help pay for this podcast. All those fun things. We appreciate it.
and we can give more to you guys. Just grow bigger and it'll be even better for everyone all around. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And just a reminder, we're also heading to the game next Tuesday, all 3 of us. So let us know if you're heading to the game. We will be recording that podcast from a Airbnb with the CN Tower behind us out the window. How awesome is that?
Yes.
It's going to be a really cool show. So stay tuned for that one coming up. But yeah, just, show us all your Leafs gear and interact with us. We love to meet new people. We've met lots over the last couple of weeks and the last month since starting this, and you guys are all so fun. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
And with that, I guess we should get out of here, eh?
Yeah. Until next time, we have another giveaway coming. Thanks again.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Leafs Late Night, your night of post-game podcast. Available after every game on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and more.
11 more days of holiday giveaways.
McKinnon sucks.
McKinnon's chickpea